Well, the Premier League is finally back after an international break that did not make me want to throw myself off the nearest cliff. Thank you, Stephen Kenny. Thank you. Hello guys, how are you getting on? My name is Aaron Kelly and welcome back to another very nasally sounding episode of the Premier League Verdict. I hope you guys are keeping very well. First of all, before we get into anything, I'd like to thank you guys for the amount of support on the channel in the last couple of weeks. It's been very overwhelming. I think the West Ham video, the most recent verdict, has over 300 views, which I was not expecting. Thank you to all the West Ham fans that came over to watch that. And I now have a little bit more belief that we might just be able to hit our target of 500 subscribers before the end of 2021. So if you're in that small percentage of people watching this video and not subscribed to the channel, I'd love to ask you to do so. We are getting closer. We are closing in on 500 subs, so hit the big red button, hit the bell beside it, and leave a like on the video before we get into anything. We have got our graphic up in front of us as usual, ladies and gentlemen, with our green, yellow and red box for the Premier League for this match week. And without wasting any further time, let's just get straight into our boxes then, starting off with the green box, box number 1. And this box could have gone to a lot of teams and individuals this week, a lot of big wins for a lot of teams. Chelsea beating Leicester, Manchester City sweeping aside Everton in a very similar way, but I'm going to give the green box this week to Liverpool, and my reasoning behind this, because they went out at Anfield on Saturday night and brushed aside an Arsenal side who have been in pretty good form, it's fair to say, an Arsenal side who haven't actually lost a game since they were hammered by Manchester City at the end of September. And you know, psychologically more than anything, Liverpool would have known that this is a big game for a lot of reasons. Obviously Arsenal, as I said, were in good form prior to this game, and Chelsea had just won in the early kickoff against Leicester quite comprehensively. And the way this title race is shaping up, it's fair to say that if you slip up even once, you're going to have definitely two teams on your back looking to capitalise upon your misfortunes. But to be fair to Liverpool, they went out and they produced one of the best performances from them I think I've seen in a long time, and it was definitely reminding me of the absolute peak of this Liverpool team. I'm not saying this team is past it by any means, but when you think of Liverpool and you think of the best of Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool, you think of obviously the title winning year, the Champions League winning year. They just played with so much intensity, so much energy, didn't get Arsenal a chance to breathe, to get on the ball, to look and create chances. Very few clear-cut opportunities for Arsenal. And to be fair, I think the game was a little bit of a dead one up until a row ensued on the sideline between Jurgen Klopp and Mikel Arteta, and that raised the Liverpool crowd and it raised the Liverpool team as a result of that. Mane gave them the lead with a header before half-time, before second half goals from Diogo Jota, Mo Salah and Takumi Minamino wrapping up another Anfield humiliation for Arsenal. And to be honest, I feel like a lot of people aren't actually talking about this result, mainly because of what happened to Manchester United early on in the day. We'll get on to that, I'm sure you know that's coming. But Liverpool were just excellent, and as I said, I could have given this box to any number of teams this week, but I was particularly impressed with the way Liverpool went about it, their intensity, the way they didn't let Arsenal out of the back at all. You could, argue the case for Chelsea. Played in a similar fashion. The press was very impressive for me against Leicester. Man City were head and shoulders above Everton yesterday. But for me, this week, Liverpool got the edge. I was really contemplating putting all three of the title challengers in the green box, but we decided we're not about that on this channel. Doing the ballsy thing, we're picking one, and I've picked Liverpool for this week. Absolutely brilliant. Moving on to our yellow box for this week, our shocking wow factor for the week, and I'm going to give it to the 3 p.m. kickoffs on Saturday. Absolutely unbelievable games and some unbelievable stories up and down the country. Aston Villa, brilliant win for them, the first in the reign of Steven Gerrard, a 2-0 victory over Brighton, and a really good victory because Brighton have been in very decent form at the beginning of this season. And then we had two unbelievable 3-3 draws in the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Burnley and Palace playing out a 3-3 draw, and Newcastle Brentford. And I have to say, Brentford are just always involved in these unbelievable games this season. Very much giving me Leeds vibes from last season. They just go at a team, hell for leather, no regrets, and it's kind of like we'll see what happens. They're quite unpredictable. But I believe Newcastle's still waiting for their first win of the season, and obviously Eddie Howe coming in has a very big job on his hands now after Norwich's win, which again another big story from the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Dean Smith, what a start for him as the Norwich managed to beat Southampton. And I gave Norwich a lot of stick on the channel a couple of weeks ago, talking about how I didn't see where a win was going to come from for them, but Dean Smith coming in just seems to have reinvigorated the squad and has given the fans something to hope for, and he is that little bit of a beacon of hope for them now. Do I think Norwich will stay up still? Probably not, but still they might make a bit of a fight at the very least, and Dean Smith made a perfect start. Also in the 3 o'clock kickoffs was a 1-0 win for Wolves against West Ham. Raul Jimenez with the goal, and then Watford versus Manchester United, which leads us very nicely actually into our final box of the video, and obviously the big story coming out of this weekend. After Watford bet Manchester United by 4-1, the latest in the array of humiliating results for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's team, and this time this was the one that finished the job in terms of getting Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sacked as manager of Manchester United. Personally, I didn't think this day would ever come, and also personally, I think Ole
is a club legend and should have been given more time, personally. Think back to the Champions League final in 1999. He scored that goal at the Camp Nou. Everybody loves him. I honestly think the United board have made a very rash decision here. But what he did back in 1999 and what all those goals he scored coming off the bench over the years for Manchester United, at the very least, this man deserves, let's say, I don't know, an extra maybe 2 or 3 years at least in the job. I think they've acted very rash.
In all seriousness though, I cannot believe that the Man United board let it get to this point. Ole should have been sacked a long time ago, and a lot of fans know that. I think he easily could have been sacked after the Liverpool game. I think he could have been sacked after the Man City game, especially going into an international break. It might have given him a chance, United that means, to get a new manager in. But instead they left him in, and he had to face a very unholy wrath from the Man United travelling faithful at Vicarage Road on Saturday afternoon. Josh King and Sarr had Watford in a 2-goal lead at half time, and the most ironic thing of all, the man who Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has completely mistreated at Manchester United, Donny van de Beek, comes on and scores what ends up to be the final goal in the reign of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I mean, that is poetic, is it not? But it got a lot worse for United before it got better. João Pedro made it 3-1, and then Emmanuel Dennis made it 4-1 to Watford, and an incredibly embarrassing result. And it was the one that pushed it over the line. Solskjaer confirmed to be sacked by Fabrizio Romano, actually, on Saturday evening, but on Sunday morning it was finally put out by Manchester United in a club statement where they actually did a goodbye interview with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Does anybody else find that a bit weird? It's as if he's just spent 3 weeks in the I'm a Celebrity jungle, and now they've just brought him out to say, alright Ole, how was it? Was it good? Did you enjoy yourself? Very bizarre. Very bizarre. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that Harry Maguire was also sent off for a second bookable offence for a ridiculous challenge on Tom Cleverley. And I was left scratching my head like, does this man get sent off on purpose just so he could go off partying in Sheffield? But Harry Maguire has been nothing short of a disgrace this season as a whole, especially when, obviously when players get bought for something like 80 million, they're going to be even more under the spotlight than other players would usually be. But he has been nothing short of awful, and he's not the only one. Man United's defence, awful. Their midfield, non-existent. Apart from, actually, funnily enough, when Donny van de Beek came on, it's nearly as if he's a decent player and Ole should have been playing him all along. Bruno Fernandes has been well off the pace. Ronaldo's been left very isolated up top. I thought Sancho did alright in the second half, but overall he's been very underwhelming since he's come in. And yeah, so begins another era for Manchester United post-Fergie, another man that fails to deliver any sort of consistent success. And it's going to be very interesting to see who they bring in as the new manager. A lot of men's names being thrown around. I'm hearing the likes of Ten Hag, and Pochettino has been linked once again. I've heard Brendan Rodgers mentioned, and a lot of United fans seem to want him as well, but it's going to be very interesting to see who they bring in. It looks like Michael Carrick's going to come in on an interim basis, and let's just hope from a United standpoint that he doesn't hit the ground running straight away and they go on to like 10 wins on the bounce or something, and they end up giving him the job just like they did to Ole. Because let's be honest, Ole should never have gotten the job in the first place. He got it as a result of a managerial bounce after Mourinho was sacked, but surely they're not going to make that mistake again. I mean, surely not. But anyway, lads, that's where I'm going to wrap it up. Let me know your thoughts on the boxes in the comment section down below. If you disagree with any of them, please do let me know. Leave a like on the video if you did enjoy, and as I said at the beginning of the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. We've got a very big football video coming out this week, so make sure you are subscribed with your notifications on so you do not miss that, and I will catch you later. I've been trying to find a way to